Hello. And we're on. Wonderful. Talent pooling. We'll come to that in a second. I'll tell you just quickly. Me, Andrew Grier, do recruitment for Saint-Gobain. Personally, family, friends, good beer, good coffee, lots of other things. Not always in that order. Saint-Gobain. Now, some of you in the room will have heard of them. Big company, as you can see, 170,000 people. But in the UK, that translates to about 36 brands. You'll recognise probably Juicing, that's what most people tell me. But there's many others. Juicing are about half the UK and Ireland business. And the rest of those brands take up the other 50% of that. Talent pooling. When I was first asked about this, I thought, that's a really old subject. And I thought, what can we do? And let me just see if this works. Let's just to see how old this is. Yeah? Who's the 90s kids? Yay! Who was that? TLC. What year was that? 90 something? I don't know. I never checked. But I didn't actually choose that deliberately. It was when it came up to don't go chasing waterfalls. I thought, is that bad advice? Because I only picked the line because it was related to talent pooling, waterfalls, and I thought a bit of Googling, and you're going to kind of find some stuff out. Talent pooling is probably older than you 90s kids. You know, it's probably, you know, way back to a long time ago. That's a completely different subject matter that they're singing about, because I actually think you should maybe go chasing waterfalls. You need to look for the new channels, new places to find new rivers. So we're back with the water again. But I'm going to throw out today probably a few ideas around talent pooling that, not so much to disrupt things or say that you should not talent pool. I know this says talent pooling, why bother? But a wee bit more about get your question as to why you do it, how you do it, and could you do it better, and why should you bother doing it the way that you actually do it now? Big question. I'm not looking for answers on this, but do you know how many vacancies you actually fill in your business per annum, per month, whatever way you do? When you're looking at the analytics, do you know how many you actually fill from what you call your talent pool? Do you fill any? Do you measure it? Give a show of hands. Who actually measures how many you fill from your talent pool? Is it the same thing, or do you just measure source a candidate and you just think, oh, that's an in-house hire? Yeah. Do you know where the yeah? So it's, you know, so don't give me any answers. I don't even know if it's on the sheet for question round the round table, but that's the big question for me. Stagnant pools. My experience of talent pools in-house so far, more often than not, is just a pool of candidates that, it's a database, it's database admin, it's not proper talent pooling. It's really just a great idea, but you don't actually leverage it fully to what you want. Granted, finding talent can be laborious, painful. We've just gone through the volume recruitment piece as well, and we all know how difficult it is to find the right people and keep a hold of them. It can cut costs, absolutely, if you've got a really good, strong talent pool. But is your pool stagnant? You know, on the flip side, it takes time to manage. You've got to invest in internal resources to actually look after that, maintain it. Do you keep them too long? What's the legality around keeping them too long? Do you cleanse it and get rid of them out of the talent pool or database at an appropriate time? Keep up to date. I believe in talent pooling mostly, but only if you're going to do it the right way, because I think it's completely essential that you need to engage with that pool. If you're not engaging with them, communicating with them, giving them content, why bother? So why should you bother talent pooling? If you're not going to content manage them and talk to them, you're wasting your time. You need to create relationships. Keep the content flowing. Content, you hear the cliches, content's king, content is key. But it's right, it's getting the right marketing, the right tools, the right people to do that marketing tools, creating community, giving them good knowledge about your business and keeping them engaged, dumping off the latest jobs, you know, once a month or once a week, whatever routine that you've got, just doesn't cut it. It's really just going to disengage them, because you'll find that your tools are probably not strong enough to give them the right jobs at the right time when they actually need them, and they're not actually bothered at that point. So you need to prepare the content, plan it, schedule it, chuck out the occasional ad hoc story so that you're staying current as well. But if you don't have a content diary to throw out to your talent pool, back to that why bother? You're actually just keeping them there, sitting them, they're not interested, other than hoping that one day they'll actually just come up with the right job at the right time. Don't spam. That's another big mistake. You can get the right content, but if you don't plan it out and do it properly, you're just going to irritate them. We probably all get, you know, jobs landing in our inboxes. If you've set up some alerts previously with any sort of business, or even some of the job boards as well, and then you start a new job, you're still getting this flood of emails, but it's just about the jobs mostly. It's not good content. So really, what's the point? If you're not going to do this, engage with that talent pool that you've got, there's no point. What's the point in leaving all those people just soaking in a pool? Relationship rivers. It's not an intentional pun relating it to the water again, but it works. And really the point is, it's getting that relationship moving with your talent pool. If you, again, don't get it moving, keep them moving on, and new talent coming into that talent pool, and the old talent that's probably no longer relevant to your talent pool, getting them out, cleansing the database, keep the relationship moving. This is a busy slide. I didn't like it when I done it, but there's a lot around this. That workforce planning. If you don't know what you're looking for in advance, if your hiring managers and your HR departments can't actually give you that headcount planning, then what are you talent pooling for? What is the point? And that connects right up to the top of the business. If they don't know the strategic plan and the direction the business is going, then the hiring managers are not going to know what they need to hire at the front end. But really, for your benefit, why bother creating a talent pool that you're going to disappoint in about 6 months, 12 months' time, because you'll never have anything for them. You're just gathering them up for the instant, for the moment. And if that's what you're doing, rethink, please, on the talent pool and what you're putting in there. Fluid talent. In relation to the talent cheating on you, it is just a play on words, but they are sitting in other people's pools. And if you're not doing the previous stuff about the content, keeping them engaged, keeping them enthused, you're back to wasting your time. You need to keep it relevant, current. If you're just storing CVs, wasting your time, and you'll get more interested, more up to date and valid people by keeping them enthused. Hoarder. It's untidy, isn't it? I can't go back up, but you get the gist. Nobody wants to be sitting in your stockpile just in case you might need them in the future. How does that make you feel if I say to you, thanks for applying, that's wonderful. I'm going to hold on to your details because I might need you in the future, and then I don't talk to you for the next 12 months. You're not going to feel very good about that, are you? It's not the kind of candidate experience, we've heard that talked about today as well, that people want to do. Back to the waste. My background was in engineering, and that related to manufacturing. And in manufacturing, they had very good strength around just in time and avoiding waste, working on a lean kind of manufacturing basis. And what I keep finding in most in-house recruitment departments is that we're actually overproducing candidates. We get a lot of applications, and then we just stick them in a bucket. We don't engage with them. If we operate a more lean system, you can actually avoid that waste. You're avoiding wasting the candidate's time because they're not just sitting in that bucket waiting on you maybe getting back to them. You can operate in a just-in-time fashion, and these are again old manufacturing terms, and it's getting the right people at the right time for the right job. So really just leveraging the power of the other talent pools that are out there. Your own talent pool, great, but please operate it properly so that you actually keep it moving. Just in time would give you that chance to, leverage those other resources, some most likely with better technology and easier ways to engage with the audience. Social media, probably the best example. It's easier than having to type up the email and then copy in the 30 people out of the database that you're storing people in to try and get in touch with them to say, I've now got a job with you because you applied 18 months ago. Question 2, all that stuff I've just blagged on about, do you have an engaged talent pool or just a database? Think about it. Think about what you're doing with it. There's a constant thinking, and we heard earlier as well about candidate shortages, another war for talent, all these kind of things, and I believe in that to a certain extent. It's true for some skill sets, but I think the problem sits, and we touched on one of the round tables earlier, not so much that the talent's not available, it's in the problems that we have as businesses to actually attract the right talent in the correct way. And I don't believe your own talent pool, sitting there soaking and stagnating, is the right way. So, how many pools can you handle? These are all talent pools. We call them job boards and social channels and different ways of finding people. This is just a snapshot, apparently, of the top 20 job boards. If you're already investing cash in these, and an effort more so than your internal talent pool, again, I'm back to the question, why bother? You need to choose, you need to be very, very careful where you're investing the cash. Are these better talent pools than the one that you've got in-house? Invest in these. They're easier to use, quicker to use. The social channels in particular are certainly more engaging and quicker to attract people from, in my experience so far, than your internal talent pool. So how many pools do you need? Job boards, social, digital, AI, we heard mentioned earlier, big data, Microsoft and LinkedIn. Can your talent pool keep up with that? Is it good enough? Where did you get it from? How quick can you interact with it? Or is it clunky, cumbersome, just a time drain? How much time do you spend in looking after and administrating your talent pool or your database? Do you have a database administrator? How much does that cost? Is it as fast as all these tools here? Or just one big time drain? Third question, why bother? Why not just invest in available pools that are easier to use and driven with better technology? Thank you very much.